Hey guys, happy August 1st, and welcome to month number 2. I'm planning to do, I don't know yet if it's going to be every single day, but there are going to be more videos this month, and I'm going to try to have a little bit more focus. So today's video is an introduction of sorts. So a couple days ago, I think I mentioned it even yesterday, that I'm going to do a sprouting series. And where this comes in, so I want to do a bit of an introduction to that and why it's such an important thing in my life. And it'll kind of go into a bit of my background as well. So basically, this is kind of the story of how I came from trying to heal with pills and potions and moving into living and thriving on fruits, roots, and shoots. So fruits being the part of the plant that contains a seed. So traditionally we think of fruit as in sweet fruit like strawberries, watermelon, that type of thing. But also included in fruits are tomatoes, are beans, because the bean is the seed of the plant, so grains. So right now, for example, I have my, this is like just my favorite dinner right now. So I've got brown rice, which, who undercooks brown rice when they've been doing it for 2 years? But I undercook my brown rice, but it's still delicious. Black beans and salsa, which is, in my opinion, it's all part of the fruits. Roots would be your potatoes, your carrots, your sweet potatoes, a lot of the things that are underground. And then shoots. So shoots traditionally might be this, if we eat the stalk of a plant, like rhubarb, celery, but shoots also, especially in our conversation today, refer to sprouts, the beginning part of a plant. So microgreens and hydroponically grown sprouts, the most commonly known would be alfalfa sprouts. So these three basically like kind of dietary keys have been the key to my health and healing. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I have a past of asthma, of depression, of IBS. I did not mention before that at 20 I was diagnosed with diverticulitis. I also had a lot of inflammation in my body. About 10 years ago I was diagnosed with a B12 deficiency, and that's when I did eat everything. Now that I am discerning on what I eat, and I also do follow a gluten-free diet. So even though I say grains for me, like the grains and the seeds of the plant is included, at this moment I stay gluten-free. In the future I may explore that, but not at the moment. Yes, so all of these things and candida and all sorts of things. But I found that I was able to relieve these things in a very short period of time, changing my diet. So I was kind of hesitant to talk about this before, but as any of you that have watched my video from yesterday, yesterday was the very last day of my work at a rather large health food store in my area. And I didn't really want to talk about it while I was working there. I felt like it was a conflict of interest, and they were giving me paychecks. But a big reason that I gravitated away from it is that years ago I was the girl that carried around a bag of my things for the day, and then I had my bag of supplements. I would have bottles of this and powders and potions and all sorts of stuff. And it was crazy. Like I had to have a sheet of paper that told me what to eat what supplements to take and when and what with and what on an empty stomach and time of day, and it was crazy. And I fell into this whole thing, and I was in this for a couple years, constantly trying something new. I'd find out about something new. from a rep, but I'd be like, oh, that's gonna be the thing that makes me better. And it never did, and I felt crummy. And I always just said, oh, sweet, I'm detoxing. I feel crappy, it's because of detox. And as much as I believe that a lot of people's bodies do need to detox, and yeah, sometimes you're going to feel a little crappy as things work through, I also feel like a lot of detox symptoms are unnecessary and are potentially being caused by not eating enough food, first of all. Um, mainly not eating enough food. And also not eating the right foods. And so we think that something is healthy for us and it's helping us detox, but it's actually causing more harm than good. So in the last, I'd say really in the last year is when I've really gravitated away. There are a few isolated supplements. There are some herbs that I think are beneficial. They are plant-based. They are shoots because they are generally the green of a plant. I do think some of those have value, especially when being used in conjunction with a whole food plant-based diet. And there are a few that I will occasionally use myself. I'm a big fan of holy basil. If I'm going to be in a stressful situation, I will use that. But for the most part, it's too much. People are putting themselves, I put myself into debt. I had to take out a line of credit because I was going to see someone. Every appointment cost me $800. So I really feel like we should be, and there are some people that they need this, and this is much better than the traditional allopathic route. But I feel like we should explore the simpler, less expensive paths first. For me, it was months and months of detox on a raw food diet and all these supplements and trying this diet and that diet and this protocol and that one. And getting onto a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet in 3 days, I still can't believe it. In 3 days, the majority of my symptoms went away because I stuck to it for 3 days straight. I did not fall off. I did mostly fruits. I did a little bit of starches in the evenings, and also including the greens. Really, I mean, all of these foods are going to be alkalizing for your body, but the greens have a lot of nutrients, not a lot of calories, so you can't make entire meals out of them, which is what I used to do. I would eat like a popcorn bowl full of greens. Like, I'd probably do a pound of greens and then add in a whole cucumber and this and that, these giant salads that would take like an hour and a half to eat. But I wasn't getting a lot of calories. Even if I put an avocado on that, it still would maybe up it by like 300 calories, but then I was getting mostly fats and pouring olive oil on. And my body just didn't have the natural plant, simple and complex carbohydrates to run on, and it just, no wonder it couldn't heal. Now I don't have a problem with energy as long as I'm eating enough food. And I try to catch it before I get to that point where I'm starting to kind of feel like impatient with my food, with everything. I try to catch myself before I make bad choices because I'm still creating a routine. So yes, this is where I come to moving away from supplements and processed nutrients, and even, you know, oh, it's, people think it's all natural, and it's mostly made in a lab. Even the whole food supplements, the original source is from a lab and it's filtered through a plant. Otherwise, they can't guarantee a dose. I forget the acronym, but they're all isolated minerals at first. And I'm just happier getting it from plants. And when you do sprouting, that's where you can ensure that you have a lot of your own. You can ensure that the plants that you are eating are really rich in minerals. So I'm going to start, tomorrow I'm going to start with, I think the plan tomorrow, I'm making it up as I go here, but I think the plan tomorrow will be talking about some of the tools that you would need to start sprouting at home. I'm going to start with hydroponics because it's easy. Everybody, if you have internet and you're watching this video, you probably have running water at home and you probably have something to hold it in. And we're going to start with hydroponics because it's an easy place to start. So I'll talk about some of the tools you'll need, and then following that, we will get into it. Anyway, I hope that this intro to how I eat and the importance of fruits, roots, and shoots, and why I've moved away. I hope this has been somewhat enlightening or educational for you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs it down. Either way, I'd love to, interact. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions for this upcoming series, I would love to hear. Comment in the comment boxes down below. And don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys later. Bye.